Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are with our level 47 Stalker Shrike, who has about 1.75 million experience to go to get to level 48. One of only 3 levels remaining, and we are on a story arc for Harvey Mailer, and we have defeated Giovanna Scaldi, and he thinks it's over and the Carnival are defeated, and now we have to go into this warehouse and make sure that they're defeated. And what we're going to find, I'm certain, is that Vanessa DeVore is still out there and is still causing trouble. I don't think we managed to um, to completely defeat the Carnival, and you can see that they are here, and we must defeat them all. Yeah, something very odd happened. I just logged in, and um, first thing I did was I said, okay, well, I was in Steel Canyon, and rather than wasting a Ouroboros on it and trying to use the train station and then the ferry, I'll just go ahead and use the mission teleporter and teleport right to the mission door, and it just didn't. Like, I clicked it and it animated, and then nothing happened. So I don't know if it's a bug or I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it did that. I've never had to do that before. Now that is the second miss in a row. We rolled a 96 and then a 97 on the same attack. That is just ridiculous. So we're nearing the end of this story arc, but I don't believe this is the end. I think we're going to have one or two more missions after this. And then we will stop with the recordings until level 48, guys. So I'll do about a half a level without recording, and then we'll come back when we're ready for the next story arc. So what I'll try to do is get into the next story arc if I can, and I will spend the next half a level trying to make friends with a contact to get me into a story arc, and hopefully it'll be a good one. I'm not sure which contacts we have left. I haven't checked that in a while. We have a couple more, and we should be able to uh, get at least 2 more story arcs before we get to 50, I would think, and that would be one at 48 and one at 49. At 49, I think we can do Crimson's. And then, of course, once we're 50, we'll have some incarnate stuff to do. Not the trials, but the things that give you sort of access to the incarnate powers. You can get... excuse me. Sorry, you can get them without that. But I think the easiest way to get into it is to just go straight for it, and get the missions that give you access to the incarnate abilities. Now, I don't know how much we're going to do with the incarnate stuff, because I have to admit, I love this character, but I'm really chomping at the bit to try the Mastermind Nightmare Lass. Now, that is the third time in a row, third out of 4 times with Assassin's Claw that I have missed. That's ridiculous. All 3 times I rolled over a 90. It's 5. Like, what's going on? And it's not like making it hard to do the mission because these guys aren't that powerful, but still, why am I rolling 97s that much on Assassin's Strike? It's just ridiculous. Let's see if we hit this time. There we go. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm really becoming excited to play Nightmare Last. This is why I always try to be careful about making up new players, you know, like alternate characters, because as soon as I do that, I want to play the new character. And it's not just characters; it's almost anything like that in a role-playing game. For example, as I've said many times, I'm working on a D&D campaign. I'm playing with some friends of mine. They're not even 4th level yet, so we're at the beginning of the campaign, which I plan to take them to level 20. So we're talking about this campaign is going to be going for a couple of years, more than likely, if everybody can make it, and if they keep liking playing it, and so on and so forth. And so it's going to be a couple of years, and yet I have ideas for like 2 other campaigns. Okay, so this guy's +3 lieutenant. I was wondering why he was purple. So I have ideas for several other campaigns, and I was thinking, gee, you know, maybe I should kind of work on the map for one of the other campaigns. And I thought I better not do that, because the minute I start working on that, I'm going to want to ditch the current campaign, which I'm really enjoying, and play the new one, just because it's just the way it is. When you start working on a new thing, you get all excited. The creative juices start flowing. Um, and it's the same thing with a new character. Once I make up a new character, I want to play it. And we have some, what is this? Mask of Weakness that he just terrorized me with. Should be fine though. Now I would really rather fight +3s like this, but as you guys have seen, the problem is setting the missions on +3s. We get a bunch of +4s, and then they're just much harder to assassinate. I've explained that before, so that's why we're staying on +2. And you can already see the difference in 2-hit just with these guys at +3, let alone at +4. I love that I killed him so fast he's still standing there with his hands behind his back. That's awesome. And I know like one-shotting things does make it easier, but I absolutely love the idea of going through an enemy stronghold and just stabbing him in the back and killing him. In fact, I used to really enjoy doing that in Skyrim. The one character I made up was like I refer to the character as a Nightblade, which is a Rollmaster character class. But the idea is it's a rogue, like an assassin rogue type character, an assassin that can use magical abilities to enhance their assassinating, like illusions and invisibility spells and things like that. And I remember in the higher levels being able to sneak up behind guys and then just do a backstab, do like a stab, and it would just, since it was a one shot, it would like zoom in on your character and focus on it and give you like a cutscene, a little mini cutscene where you would just slit the guy's throat and like drop him to the ground, and then it would go back into your first person view. And this is really cool. I used to love doing that. That was another really cool role-playing game, Skyrim. I enjoyed that a lot. Played it 2 or 3 times. One and twice as an assassin, once as a ranged assassin, and once as an up-close melee assassin. I think I like the ranged assassin the best. That was super fun. You could like nastily attack people from long range and essentially do the archery equivalent of a backstab. It was super awesome. Yeah, playing assassin characters is really fun. I don't see Vanessa here. Looks like we missed a big chunk of the map. No, it looks like we didn't miss anything. Hmm. No, I thought the enemy was up here. I guess it's downstairs. There we go. And that is the lieutenant. And this is our final enemy of the mission, it looks like. Did we get a clue? No. So that's sort of weird that we didn't get a clue in the middle of a story arc. Now we got a clue. I guess it was wrong Tiger Shrike, even with Javana defeated. The carnival is still going strong. Makes me sad, to tell you the truth. After hearing your stories about young Vanessa DeVore, I had hoped we could save her, but I guess we're going to have to. We have one more villain we've got to go after. So, we've got to learn Vanessa's location. So now this is defeat 50 carnies. So you guys know the drill. I'm not going to be doing that. Let's see, can we get him to complete it for us, or is it too soon? Alright, so he's completed it for us. And now we know where Vanessa is, so we're going to defeat Vanessa and her servants. So, I think we're going to need to change up our inspirations a little bit. I want some extra defense buffs. So let's switch these out. I don't think we're going to need as much endurance. I think I'm going to sacrifice some of this to get 3 more defenses, because I do know her psychic attack is basically auto hit. It's like a 95% or something. And kicked my butt when I was playing Silver Phoenix because I was relying on things like elude and stuff to save me, and they didn't. But the luck will work. So Skyway City, let's go to Talos Island. Yeah, sorry about just auto-completing the 50 carnies, but I'm not... I hate street missions to begin with, and I'm not hunting 50 carnies. There's nowhere to find them. Often there aren't more than 8 or 10 in the entire zone, as far as I can tell. And I'm just not going to spend an hour and a half looking for carnies. It's just a mission designed to be frustrating and annoying. Let's put it this way. I don't think they designed it to be frustrating and annoying, but they knew after it came out that it was frustrating and annoying. We told them it was frustrating and annoying. We explained why, and they never did anything about it, and it's still in the game. I mean, the easy way to fix this would be to put carnies in more spots so you can hunt them. But they never did, as far as I know. The only place to hunt carnies is Peregrine Island. I don't think there are any hazard zones that have them. The whole idea of defeating 50 because your 50th level is ridiculous anyway. Defeat 10 or maybe 20. It should have never gone above that. 10 to 15 I think is fine. More than that is just wasting my time. Alright, so we have to defeat Vanessa and her servants. Oh no. What is going on? Why are these guys yellow? Why are they so low? I don't know if I can beat Vanessa 8 plus 2 even. I hope so. If I can, I will not make you guys watch me go through this whole thing again. In fact, maybe what we should do is go find her. Should we do that, guys? Let's go find her. While we're stealth, let's find her and see, because this is a huge mission, and who knows how many guys we're going to have to defeat. But I'd rather not fight all these guys and then find out we can't defeat her and we have to reduce the notoriety. Let's see if I can find her. This is a typical place where you may find a boss. Not there. Okay. Yeah, we need to go deeper in, it looks like. She's going to be at the end. That's sort of always the way they do it. Seneschal. Yep. So she should be in here somewhere. There she is. I see a voice. Oh, she's upstairs. Okay. there she is. Has she got anybody with her? This guy. Oh, good. He's behind a wall. Maybe she won't see me if I assassinate him. Let's hope. Excellent. There's nobody else here. Alright. So we're going to take her out, and then we'll work our way back. And my guess is we're going to probably have to defeat our way back to this spot. And then that'll probably be it. If we have to do the whole thing, that's fine. But I want to make sure we can beat her before we waste our time fighting everybody else. So, hasten. Instant healing. Triple defense. Let's do some extra damage, extra accuracy, and assassinate her. Placate. And she's seriously debuffing me. You gotta keep a close eye on your health here, because she can really do a number on your health, and she can do it very quickly. But fortunately, our luck is holding up. Add a little bit more to it, and we do have. Oh, no problem. We do have. Oh, go away, Dark Servant. You're just a summoned creature. We do have. We did have Moment of Glory if we needed it, but we didn't. So that was really easy. I thought she was going to be tougher. I remembered her being a lot tougher. But one of the reasons that you die against guys like that early on, like when you first attack them, is not knowing what they can do, right? So Stellar Phoenix died like twice before I thought to look at the 2-hit and see that she had like 100% or 95% to hit, even with my toggles running, and realized that the problem is that it's not a non-typed defense, it's a non-positional attack. It's a non-positional attack, right? So non-typed attacks are brutal because most enemies, most heroes have defenses or resistances against a type of damage, right? Fire resistance, toxic resistance. So if it's not typed, your resistance, a resistance that's toxic resistance does not work against attacks that aren't toxic. And slashing resistance doesn't work against attacks that aren't slashing. And so on. So if you have an attack that isn't typed, right, then none of your defenses work against it. However, that usually is not a problem with super reflexes, because super reflexes is keyed to position, melee defense, range defense, AoE defense, rather than being keyed to type. And so, almost every attack in the game, except, as far as I know, Vanessa DeVore's psychic attacks, is positional. They are either AoE, melee, or whatever. And so, I didn't realize that her attack was non-typed or maybe it was psychic, but it was non-positional, right? And so I'm turning on my toggles and I've got my passives, and I should have, be dropping her to hit at least to like 50 or 60, not 95%. And she's hitting me, like auto hitting me, 95% to hit. And so I'm like, what is going on? And I finally realized, oh, it must not count as ranged or melee or, and that was a mistake, but that's fine, or AoE. Like, it's hard to imagine how an attack couldn't either be ranged, melee, or AoE. But since it is not tagged, excuse me, to either one of those, or to any of those, it didn't trigger any of my defenses. And that made it really tough. But knowing that ahead of time, you go in with extra Lux, and you're golden, right? You just use the Lux because the Lux work against everything. So I believe this will be the end of the story arc. Yeah, Yeah, so if this was defeat all, I think it should have said defeat all, but I was prepared for it to be. I know a lot of times these missions say defeat so-and-so and their minions, and they really mean defeat everybody. But sometimes it's just the minions that are in, like, within the same region of the map. It just depends on, I guess, whatever mood the designers were in when they made these, because there's really no rhyme or reason to that. And why am I missing this one so much? This has happened to me before with the Carnival. It's like every once in a while a Harlequin Fencer is just completely unhittable. And I don't know why. And it becomes like you're fighting a friggin' boss, and it's just a single minion that can't take more than 2 hits, but all of a sudden like, you're just constantly missing them. Yeah, why did I have a 24% chance to hit her? That's ridiculous. And yet this one, I had a 95% chance to hit. 65%. So why did I have a 24% chance to hit that one? It's like every once in a while they turn on some sort of power that makes them unhittable, but only a few of them do it. Like once or twice a mission. It's really strange. Most of them don't seem to be able to do it. And I fought plenty of Harlequin Fencers, so I don't know. Come on. Yeah, 95% chance. So most of the time you can 1 or 2 shot them, and then sometimes it's worse than fighting a boss. So I don't know. That's a little weird. So if anybody knows why that happens, they don't seem to be turning on a power. They don't animate like they're turning on a power. Super reflexes or something. So if anybody knows why it is that sometimes you just cannot hit Harlequin Fencer minion, let me know. And it always seems to be them. It doesn't seem to be like the attendants or anything. They're Iron Strongmen. And not all of them. You know, it was like if it was always them, I'd say, okay, they got some passive. You know, but it's not. Because a lot of times it doesn't happen. So I'm not sure what's going on. Right, so that I understand, right? He just terrorized me, that reduced my accuracy. But I hadn't been hit by him. And there have been times when I haven't seen a single lieutenant in the whole mission, and I'm just fighting minions, and I end up fighting these Harlequin Fencers and I cannot hit. And it's always one. I defeat the other 2, and then the one just, I cannot hit her. And I don't know why that is. So if anybody knows why, leave a comment. Oh, you. You're just gonna be a pain, aren't you? There we go. You know, one thing I think, it is a bit of a shame that when this game came out, it wasn't really possible to do things like make Let's Play videos on YouTube. Because I think it would have been really useful for the developers. Depending on how open-minded, it wouldn't have been that useful for Statesman, but I think it would have been very useful for Positron, who is more open-minded and more willing to do things to help players and listen to the players than Statesman was. But I think it would have been really useful for developers like Positron, Castle, Warwitch, etc. to actually watch gameplay video like this. And because sometimes you would be describing stuff, you maybe take a screenshot, But to actually watch gameplay video like this and see what it is we're talking about when we were complaining about certain things, like how a particular power works or what tanking is like under certain circumstances. Describing it on the forums is fine, but I think it would have been very, very useful for the developers to watch us and watch how we were playing and see what it is that was causing us grief, you know. You could watch how we're doing something and go, oh, that's what players are doing that, you know, is causing this. Because sometimes the developers didn't play the way we did. A lot of times they didn't. And they would not understand why we were... why are these guys white cons? They would not understand why we were complaining sometimes. And then if they watch the video, they say, oh, I see what he's talking about, right? I think that would have been very useful. Right? If we could have shown them live, like, here is what's happening. Right? Here's what we're seeing as players. This is what we're talking about when we make these complaints on the forum. Right? We're not making it up. You know, we're not just belly aching. This is an actual issue. And the developers might have been able to really more speedily see what to do about fixing various aspects of the game. And I know modern developers, if they're smart, do that, right? They know who the big YouTube Let's Play guys are, and they'll even do things like send them a free key for the game so that they can play it in early access. And then they sit there and watch what these guys are doing so they can figure out, well, what's wrong with our game, what needs to be fixed. They'll hear the guy grumbling about something or whatever and go, okay, this is a problem. We need to fix this because this player is complaining. Lots of other players are going to complain, right? Or we see why it's aggravating because we see what it's doing to him in the game. Or we see why this is good because he's saying this is awesome, I could do this all day, right? He's enjoying it. So I think it's very helpful to developers. Certainly if I were a developer, that's what I would want, would be to have video of players actually playing my game and see what it is that they're enjoying about it and what it is that they're struggling with. So, you want to watch a video about this positron, he's not running the game anymore, and see what's aggravating? Here's something that's aggravating. I've defeated Vanessa DeVore. I've defeated, as far as I can tell, every frigging minion in the warehouse. And there's some guy stuck on a wall somewhere or hidden somewhere that's going to force me to reset this mission and not be able to get credit for having defeated an elite boss. And that is going to be very annoying. Because I do not know where the missing... Oh, I know what I did. I didn't go upstairs in... Yeah, I didn't go upstairs in the final room. I went upstairs on one side, not the other side. That's got to be it. So let's go over there and try it. But, you know, it'd be very valuable to a developer to be able to watch something like this and go, okay, is this playing the way we wanted it? Did this player get the enjoyment out of this that we were hoping they would? Yeah, this has got to be them. And I probably didn't have to go all the way back. I just had to come up here and defeat these guys. Who was screaming at the screen about that? I bet somebody was. Another miss. Do you believe this? 98. Was that the 5th time in this mission that I've missed a 95% chance? Come on. And that is the mission. And we got reward merits, so that means the story arc is over. By the way, speaking of reward merits, we now have 741, which is... Let's see, we need, I believe, 2,400 or 2,600 to get the ATOs, the Archetype Origin. One set. So we still have like 1,900 to go. I don't know if this character is ever going to get them. Because We're already almost 50th level. And we're nowhere near, right? And that to me tells you, and I'm doing every story arc on the board, right? Every story arc my character can do. I'm almost 50th level, and I don't have even a fraction of the, and not even half of the merits you need to get one of the two ATO sets. To get both sets, you'd need, I believe, something on the order of 5,000 merits, and we have 700. That's just insane. You shouldn't have to wait until after your character's level 50 to get to begin getting enhancements. I guess I have a different philosophy. My philosophy is I'm basically done with the character at level 50, and most people's philosophy is the game begins at 50. So if you have that philosophy, I guess I could see it. But in any case, we are now done. We get our story arc XP. We're now 80% of the way through this level. He says, good work, Tiger Shrike. I really thought that Vanessa could be saved. Nope, I had to kill her. No, she's not in prison. I killed her, Harvey. This character kills people. She's vigilante. Anyway, Vanessa's defeated, and the carnival have been beaten. So we're done with Harvey. I'm going to work next on, I guess, Maria Jenkins or Unai Kemen, and hopefully, just as I get the story arc from them, I'll be 48, and I can bring you guys back, and we'll do their story arc for level 48, and then we'll do the other one for level 49, or Crimson for level 49, and the other one for level 50, and then we're pretty well done with this character in terms of leveling. But we have to do that another time. We've been doing this long enough. Until next time, I am Scarperlock, and this has been City of Heroes.